Okay, guys, so I'm back with the dream team, of course, and today I'm going to show you guys the different beginning sources of power. Later on in more advanced videos, in the advanced playlist that I'm going to be making soon, I'm going to show you guys stuff like fusion reactors, possibly steam turbines, if that's where you guys want me to go. Steam turbines I don't usually like to use because you can never have enough, especially with the fusion reactor. Makes a lot of energy from steam, but it's very, very expensive. And like I said, you always need more steam turbines and more water pumps, especially when you make them with fusions. I am going to show you all the way from super basic, right from the beginning with the starter kits, up to fission reactors. And it's not going to be a full, like, huge in detail explanation, but it's going to be enough to get you guys started. So we're going to start out with lava generators. So I don't have any resources to do this, or to build this, so let's just go something like this. So what you want to do for a heat generator, I should say, is something like this, right? So I'm gonna make sure no lava leaks out. This is how you would do that. Put lava right underneath it, encapsulate it, just like this. So now this thing is going to be generating power. Very, very, very little amounts of power, but I believe if you do something like this, I'm going to encapsulate it a little bit more, just like this, and you break the sides. Oops, don't do that. And then like that, and you pour lava over the top of it, it makes even more power, right? So now I'm gonna just put that right over the top. And that's gonna fall down like that, and now this should be creating even more power because it's even hotter here. So the hotter the material, the hotter or the more power you're gonna generate. So the reason why I have this thing, this is called an induction cell, right? So if I go into here and type induction, you can see there's different tiers. Right now, all I have is one basic induction cell and one basic induction provider, because until we get to fusion or fission, you're not going to need anything greater than that. And this is pretty expensive for just starting out, so I don't recommend it. I would use energy cubes, but for the purpose of this video and showing you guys, let's fix this really fast. That's not good. Just like that. Alright, so you're going to want to encapsulate it. You can do it better than I did, of course. Let's block everything in. Nice, and then I'm going to run my universal cable out, just like this. Now this is something that you guys can get in a starter kit, heat generators. So you're making very, very little amount of power, just 114 joules per tick with one completely surrounded with lava, right? So edit this next part out. And we're back. Okay, so I just made the heat generator, right? So that's how you make a heat generator. It's not amazing, but this is a very cheap source of starter power considering it comes in the starter kit. Next, what I prefer to do, and this is going to be in chronological order of what I would recommend. Next, I would use coal generators. Very easy, very, very cheap. I'm going to leave this out. I'm just going to switch this. I'm trying to save some space here. And pretty much back is where the power comes out of, right? And you pretty much just throw coal right in here. And it's going to simply just make power from it, right? And so it first has to charge up. As you can see, it's going from negative to positive. That's kind of odd, but Now we're making some power here. It's not a ton, but I believe it should be better than heat generators. We gotta wait 10 seconds. 8, 7. One kilojoule per tick. Now, this is going to be constant if you have a constant stream of coal in here. So I recommend getting a digiminer, which has been one of my other videos, and just mining some coal. Go in and mining some coal and just putting them out here. Now, say I take half a stack of this and throw that in there. Hook up another universal cable to the back of it, and I'll be able to make more power just like that. So that's how you use the coal generators. Pretty easy stuff. Nothing too advanced yet. Next, I'm going to be creating a big reactor. So I really recommend these because these appear to be very, very good actually. Yeah, I'm making quite a bit of energy. That's more than you're going to need in the beginning for most of the time. Big reactors, you're able to make it as big as you want, pretty much. There's lots of tutorials on how to do it. I heard that if you put endurium touching the walls, because you can cool it to produce more power and stuff like that, to use less fuel. But if you put in resonant endurium, I think it's called, buckets, and place them on the edges of the big reactor, touching all the edges, then it'll be more efficient that way. And then you put cryothium, which is again more expensive later on, putting cryothium everywhere but touching the edges, so everywhere else besides where the endurium is going to be. And there's things that you can look up online and stuff like that to make it better. That's just what I've researched. So now we're going to start by building a big reactor. The big reactor can be any dimension, but the smallest size is going to be a 3x3, just like that. However, I'm going to be making a 5x5 for this video. So you're just going to build it up. And of course there's controllers and stuff like that. So next I'm going to let's break this side. And I usually use 2 of these because when you access it, you can eject waste or put outlet mode. So this is going to have all the cyanide that comes out. Whoops, a little bit faster than I thought. And then this is going to be where you import your yellorium, which powers the machine, or powers the reactor. Oops. Next, what you want to do is in the middle of it, you put your yellorium fuel rods. And like I said, if you have a bigger one, the endurium would go right here. See how it would be touching the sides. And then if you had an even bigger one than this one, you would want to put cryothium right here in the middle if there was room in the middle, wherever it's not touching these outside surrounding cases. And I've heard that's the most efficient way to do it. However, we're just going to do something like this. So I have 4 yellorium rods. The more yellorium rods, the hotter, which means more power, right? So then I encapsulate it just like this. Make sure no blocks aren't, make sure everything's touching and there aren't any excess blocks. Then you're going to want a controller. Where's my controller? Where'd it go? There we go. You're going to want a controller, and as you can see, it clearly changes when it knows it's been completed. So that's how you know you're doing it right. Now, right next to the power, or right next to that, and if I didn't complete this, it wouldn't, if I didn't place that yellorium rod, which I accidentally just broke, it wouldn't have been able to complete and do the animation it did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the reactor power tap right here, which allows you to export the power. And then this allows you to monitor everything going on inside of it. And no, it does not blow up. So you will be fine. And you can see right now I'm making 600 flux per tick, which translates to, let's turn this thing off right now, and run these cables all the way to the big reactor. now you're going to be able to see this makes 587 flux per tick, or redstone flux per tick, which translates to 1.46 kilojoules per tick, which isn't bad, but it's not amazing, right? So this is a very small version of this. Yellorium goes in through here. I use 32 yellorium ingots, but that's going to last a while. And then cyanide's going to be outputted through here, and you can make something. If you get something called a plutonium something, and you input water with the cyanide, you make plutonium, which you can then put. You make the plutonium from cyanide, and then you can put that back in your big reactor and making it even more efficient, right? So now I am going to make a fission reactor. It's actually very basic, not hard at all, really. So for the fission reactor, let's make it right here. No, let's move it somewhere else. I'm gonna make it right here. 2, 3, 4, 5. And I believe the maximum dimensions for the steam turbine is gonna be a 5 by 5. So this is gonna be 4. Let's increase this 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great. And I'm using this type of glass because water won't leak out of it, but you can walk through it freely. So let's go ahead and get some water over here, which I forgot to get. Alright, so we're just gonna get that water. And as you can see, water won't leak through it, but I can still walk through it freely, just like this. It's nice because it'll allow you to put water, or allow you to put fuel rods inside your fission reactor. So fission reactors can explode, so you need something called an insertable fuel rod. But first, I'm going to continue to fill up this fission reactor, right? So just keep filling it up just like this, and then you're going to want to place it on the next level up and make sure everything looks like water source blocks, or else it'll start acting funny, and that's not cool. Okay, so that's good. And then what I'm going to want to do is place steam turbines right on top of the water, because you make your power from all the steam from it. And you can automate this with using AE2, which again I'm going to be covering in later videos. And if you use AE2, you have to make a hole in the top of this here, put a ME cable down here with a bus, importing your fuel rods, which right now I'm only using a low enriched. But for this video, I'm going to show you how to be more efficient with this. You can do that by doing something like this, right? So now this one big reactor, if you right click it with a precision sledgehammer or other wrenches, you can actually make this more efficient with a big steam turbine, which is really nice. And for purposes of automation, usually you have to put the insertable control in the top, just like this. You shift right click it, and this will control the temperature very easily for you. You shift right click it to the top, and this would not allow you to automate it, but I've seen some people do something like this. I'm gonna mine this. You can also put the insertable control rod from underneath it, which is something very cool I just figured out recently from other people's builds. See, so now I have that right in the bottom of it, and now I can put some obsidian right there and still access my insertable control rod. So the lower the percent, the hotter it gets, right? So 25% with high enriched is the lowest you want to put it at, right? So you don't want to go any lower than that, or else it will blow up if you have high enriched fuel cells. And then you'd be able to make that hole right there, and then put the fuel rods in through the top. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just hook up the power. You can see that the power cables all just come in like this, and they go right in through the top, which is very easy. Now these steam reactors make power from steam, of course, which the fission reactor produces. So now, I'm not even going to have enough, I'm not going to have a upgraded enough induction provider in order to show you guys how much this makes, but it's going to max it out completely. And all it takes is steam turbines, a fission reactor, and some uranium. It's literally all it needs, and an insertable control rod. So then you just right click it in, and as you can see, everything's starting to turn, and I'm already making way more than I was with any other thing. So this in the end is very worth it. You can make anywhere from 500 to 1.5 MJ per tick, which MJ is megajoules, which is 1,000 kilojoules. So in the end, it's very worth it, very, very good, and this is something that I recommend. However, you can also make just a 3x3 turbine. You don't need this 5x5. The 3x3, I believe, is the maximum that you can make. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this helped you out with beginner styled power styles. So you start with the heat gen, then you go to cold gen, then you go to reactor casings or big reactors, then you go to fission, which is the path that I would usually take as I myself was starting. The server just reset and I actually did the same exact thing, except I skipped the cold generator because I just learned what this was. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully again I helped you out, and yeah, peace out guys.